To our instructor, Miss Nova 30 Agravante, ma'am, good afternoon, and to my classmates and group mates, good afternoon, guys. As we have instructed to have access research studies published in scientific journals uploaded on the web, a research paper on the effectiveness of IEC program implemented by Philippine government to address COVID-19 information and education gaps. And aside from that, we have to do our own related literature. So this is our own related literature entitled The Effectiveness of IEC in the Philippine Government Response to COVID-19 Pandemic. The Philippine government response to COVID-19 has been described as being one of the longest and strictest lockdown in the world, according to Carl Happel on journal.sagi.pub.com. On this literature, we will emphasize what does IEC impact or effectiveness on the Philippine government response to fight COVID-19 in the country. So this is our methodology. We access our research studies published in scientific journals uploaded on the web, and we find the effectiveness of IEC program implemented in the Philippine government to address COVID-19 information and education gaps. And we make our own related literature of at least five that strongly ground on the main concept of the study or paper. Preparing for this related literature via recorded video PowerPoint presentation with citations of IEC program of a specific government office or agency. So these are our objectives. At the end of the presentation, viewers or listeners will be able to understand what is IEC and its materials, the application of Philippine government on IEC intervention and draconian measures, information and education gaps of government's response to COVID-19, and the effectiveness of IEC in Philippine government in response to COVID-19 pandemic. So what is IEC and its materials? So information, education, and communication, or IEC, is an approach which attempts to change or reinforce a set of behavior in a target audience regarding a specific problem in a predefined period of time. It combines strategies, approaches, and methods that enable individuals, families, or groups, organizations, and communities to play active role in achieving, protecting, and sustaining their own health. Embodied in IEC is the progress of learning that empowers people to make decisions, modify behaviors, and change social conditions. That is according to Francis Banashri, Hawaii Bomb, September 9, 2005. So what is IEC materials? Uh, anyway, information education or IEC materials are used to convey public health messaging in order to support an overarching behavior change strategy developed to respond to the public health problem. IEC materials include a range of products like infographics, flyers, leaflets, brochures, social media posters, television adverts, audio spots or radio, posters, billboards, or murals. So IEC interventions in draconian measures in Philippine government. Entire provinces and cities were put into lockdown, mobility was restricted, and the wearing of masks and social distancing were strictly enforced. Violations were met with punitive action. The government relied heavily on the police and military to ensure that order was maintained and that all health protocols were followed. IEC materials like posters produced by local government unit or LGU and television adverts from the government agency Department of Health or DOH are those instruments of military and police to enforce and persuade people to observe health protocol policies strictly and effectively. By enforcing of health protocols policy, IEC materials like posters like flyers, brochures, posters, and television adverts were there to inform people, educate, and communicate. So this memorandum circular is from the Office of the Secretary, who issued an urging that all drug outlets, public or private, including hospitals, shall produce the said IEC materials. Those are flyers, posters, advertisements, television adverts, and so on. So, Philippine government information and education gaps. So, these are the gaps of Philippine government information and education. This is according to Curato 2016, Jensen and Hapal 2018. In both its war on drugs and its COVID-19 response, the government has relied on brute force to eliminate its perceived enemy, and it has peddled a narrative of a bifurcate nation, torn between the virtuous and criminal elements. It has become the government's duty to salvage the nation, lest the Philippines be destroyed. So that was the gaps for information education. Broadly speaking, populism relies on the depiction of a bifurcate society, elite versus the masses, criminals versus the law-abiding citizens, the corrupt versus virtuous citizens, angels versus demons, Jensen and Hapal today. On the other hand, there are actual people who are determined as importunate or obstinate whose desire is just to oppose the government policy. Amid the lockdown, the term pasaway referred to people violating government-imposed health protocols. Feared for spreading the virus, the pasaway became the bane of the government pandemic response. In many ways, the government's war against COVID-19 has also sought to salvage the virtues from the pasaway. The act of salvaging took the form of policing and punishing the pasaway. The effectiveness of IEC in the Philippine government response to COVID-19, according to Dipmala on LinkedIn website, Information and Education and Communication, abbreviated as IEC, is a strategy to spread awareness through communication channels to a target audience to achieve a desired positive result. It is a strategy of sharing information through the broadcast or the print media or interpersonal communication in a manner appropriate to the target group's culture and values. It is intended to instill positive knowledge for appropriate behavior in the community, which will promote preventive health measures and development. So this is the link of that information. Though Philippine government relying on draconian measures, it's still the purpose to inform, educate people. Their actions pertaining to the strictly actions on the implementation are sent all over the country for cooperation.